This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And you know, I think it was July 25th, I had Tom McLoughlin on here celebrating with me the 30th anniversary of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And I'm working right now on getting Tom Matthews, who played Tommy Jarvis. And I'm in the works for that. But tonight I have a very beautiful woman on the phone. And thanks to Tom, I was able to get in touch with this lovely lady. I'm talking about Nancy McLoughlin, the fiery redhead herself. And I love that red hair. And yeah. How you doing, Nancy?
I am doing wonderfully. I am doing great. And I wished I could have been there on the 25th for the 30th, but life changes and we go other places and we're not there, and I totally missed it.
Was the 25th the anniversary?
Actually, I don't know. I thought it was the 30th.
Oh, it could have been. Like I just knew that it came out in 1986, and I was trying desperately to get some interviews from it. It's funny because I got Darcy DeMoss on my friends list on Facebook, and I can't seem to wave her down at all.
Really?
Yeah.
You're so lovely and friendly. I will wave her down.
Sure, but I mean, I get it because I know when I had Jenny Wright on here from Pink Floyd The Wall, it took some doing to get her, but I finally got her attention after sending her 2 or 3 messages, and she had a good time on here. So
I do think if you're not a big Facebook person, presence, and you don't do a lot of Facebooking, people like myself
yeah.
won't notice. And we just literally just go by our day. And I think it's a shame because I would like to become more Facebook literate and more, this is great. I'm so grateful you got in touch with me a couple of times.
Well, you know what? I was off Facebook for about 3 years because they kept changing stuff, and I always like to rearrange my photos the way in an alphabetical order, and it got to the point where it was so difficult for me to do it, and I just took all my stuff off of there and deactivated my account.
Thank you.
Huh?
I love you. I love you for that.
Yeah. But what happened was my first podcast interview was April of 2015. I interviewed Tommy Wiseau, and that was the key for me going back on Facebook to look for him. Yeah.
I think I think Facebook used well is pristine. Now, I don't put pictures up, and I'm not really literate in that regard. So all of a sudden, if anyone's on my Facebook, you'll get like 1,000 garden pictures.
Oh, yeah?
Or somehow I will have been just going through iTunes pictures and just going through them. All of a sudden, a smack of Friday the 13th pictures, all horrible of me. Not a good picture. I would never put these pictures up in a million years. But that's how my pictures get up there. So I've got to become more literate.
Well, there you go. Well,
I think that would be the clue, is to become a little more friendly with the Facebook.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because, like I said, on July 25th, I had Tom McLoughlin on here, and I started out his interview by reading something to him because way back in the early to mid 90s, I wrote to him and I get a handwritten letter.
Wow.
And I still have it, and I read it to him over the air.
I love you. May
Yeah.
I hear it? I'm sure I heard it at the time, but I'd love to hear it again.
I'm sorry, I don't have it on me, but I'll tell you when I upload his interview, I could send that to you and you could hear it.
I would love that.
Yeah, but I read it to him.
He's always been great about writing back and connecting with his fans. I think that's one amazing quality about Tommy.
Yeah.
Of a million.
Oh, yeah, and I remember, he was talking about the the comedy in his the movie, and I remember I asked him about Carrie Noonan in particular, and he answered some of those questions and whatnot, and yeah, it was. I still have it, and I should have brought it with me today, but I didn't even think. But I do read it to him. His is still on draft mode. It hasn't even aired out here yet. You know.
What did he say? Was he excited?
Oh yeah. It took me a couple times on Facebook to get his attention, but I finally got his attention, and I was happy to have him on. And I think I had him on here for, if I remember correctly, about, I think it was like 75 minutes or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and he was a great...
He pretends he's shy. He is the least shy man you know.
I'm under
but
that.
He pretends. He does pretend that he's quiet.
Yeah. But no, it was great, and he was the one who gave me your email address to get in touch with you, and I was grateful that he did that, because I was like, wow, yeah, I'd love to talk to Nancy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad.
Yeah, but I know you just got back from a big trip, huh?
It turned into something I never expected. It was supposed to be one thing, and oh my, it turned into an eat, love, pray trip. I walked 14 miles a day. I never saw the movie or read the book, so I'm not even sure, but that's what people describe it as. It was a lovely trip to Ireland.
Yeah.
And to just go back into my roots and look into our families. And I did that, and it was incredible, and just Ireland's amazing. I had some very funny experiences. Traveling alone as a woman,
yeah,
I don't suggest. and then the second part was London, which was amazing. And the first week I was alone, and then the second week I joined up with a prayer tour.
Okay.
Because a church is planting a church in London, and what was so funny is most English people could not understand that you would pay to go someplace to pray.
Wow, I just do it at home before I go to sleep, right after I read from my Bible.
Exactly. That's how most people. But I think it's really kind of wise with all the turmoil in the world and stuff like that. It was just a huge group, and then we broke off in small groups, and then we were allotted, areas like Greenwich, where a time meridian is. How amazing. So we're at the time meridian, not just on our knees praying. We're just walking around looking and just thanking God for all this beauty and stuff like that. And, if there's anything, Lord, just show it to us, reveal it, let us pray over any issues and stuff like that. And it was really, it was magical. And around that time, when we were around this fountain at the top of the meridian, have you ever been there?
No, I haven't. I've never been outside New Brunswick.
Oh, we're getting you traveling. You need to travel. Not that I don't think New Brunswick is beautiful. I do.
Have you been here?
I have.
Sir, where have you been here?
It was only for a couple of days. It was to shoot a Honda commercial back in the 90s.
Where were you? Fredericton, St. John, or Moncton?
Okay, now you're testing my brain.
Yeah, those are the three cities.
Where does it fly into?
I have no idea. I don't know.
There's 3 different airports.
I don't know.
If there's 3 different airports, I don't know. One of the airports, and why they chose it is there was something very close to the airport. So literally I flew in. I did the commercial the next day. I had a rest day, and then I left, and I was so tired. So I've been there, but I don't know it.
Oh.
I've been in Canada, a lot of Canada filming, and I love all of Canada. But I know it better. New Brunswick I've just been to.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been outside. I've only been outside Fredericton a handful of times, Within the last, I'd say 10 years, I might have been outside Fredericton 3 times. Once I saw Avril Lavigne twice in concert, and once I saw Hilary Duff, whom I got to meet backstage, which was pretty cool.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I happen to be an Avril Lavigne fan, huge fan.
My favorite Avril Lavigne song is not a single, and it was the first song I played here on the air because the commercial stations wouldn't play it. But it was a song
What was it?
It was called "Together."
I don't know if I know it.
It's the second song off her second album. It was written by
I'll find
Chantal. It was written by Chantal Kraviazik, and it's my favorite Avril Lavigne song.
Well, you do know I'm writing that down, and I will find out.
Yep. And when the stations wouldn't play it, I played it. I don't understand this. They'll only play certain songs, and you got these songs on the album that never get played. I don't get that.
I don't either.
Why record the song if they're not going to play it, you know?
Exactly. But I don't think the artist has any say in that. So I think it's more the stations that choose what they want to play. I mean, I don't think they record it so it won't be played.
Well, you know, here at the campus.
That's a curious question. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, here on campus, we do not do a lot of top 40. We try to do a lot of independents and songs that don't necessarily get played. I got one artist consultant in Los Angeles right now that sends his musicians my way, which is really cool.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Actually, I met him through an actress I interviewed, you know, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, "Together" is my favorite Avril Lavigne song, and Chantal Kraviazik wrote it, and it was just a great song, and I got to see her perform it in Moncton when I saw her. So yeah, but
I think that's so cool.
Yeah. And speaking of cool, here we are with the lovely Nancy McLoughlin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I don't sing. There you go. And I don't sing.
No? Well, I'm going to
sing happy birthday.
What's that?
I'll sing happy birthday, but that's it.
Oh, yeah? Well, my birthday...
I'll sing lullaby.
My birthday was July 8th, but if you want to sing me happy birthday, I'm up for that.
You know, I'm going to wait till next year, and you're going to get a secret phone call, and it's going to be from me, and I'm going to sing.
I'll have to give you...
I wait till the day.
I'd have to give you my home number or my cell number.
I would sing it to your station, and you'd know it was me. That's what I would do for you.
Oh, would you?
But I'd practice all year before I got there. Now, well, Tommy, on the other hand, he could sing it to you.
Tommy looks like a rock star. He's got that whole...
cracking me up.
Oh, he's got that whole Steve Tyler look going for him on some of his Facebook pictures.
It's cracking me up. All I can say is he's an artist and he grows.
Well, I had a great interview with him. I loved talking to him, and I really appreciate that he got me in touch with you. And I asked him, I was going to say, well, we were talking about you being on vacation and going to the prayer thing. You were to what, London, England?
Yes.
You know what? I'm having a hard time communicating with that. I've done 2 interviews from the UK.
And it would have been difficult, correct?
Well, I got the interviews, and I interviewed Antonia Franceschi from the movie Fame. Had a nice had a nice interview with her. Still in touch with her, and I interviewed a representative from the Ray Harryhausen Foundation in honor of the 35th anniversary of Clash of the Titans, and they put me in touch with the manager of Caroline Munro, and I would love to interview her, but...
Who is she? I'm so sorry.
She was in The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. She was in The Spy Who Loved Me. She was in Maniac.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got her manager's number, but I'm like, and she told me last week, give her a call. And I can't seem to... keep getting this answering thing saying your call cannot blah, 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 blah. And you're supposed to like...
The number thing, do 00... Oh, no, that's to America. 002, maybe?
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be 011 plus 44, and then you do the number, but...
It's so bizarre. My communication to the States was spotty at best, and literally for days people couldn't hear from me because the Wi-Fi. It was absurd.
Oh, yeah. But somehow I got to put that interview together because, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've been pretty good. Like, I'm not trying to pat myself in the back. I don't ask personal questions. And I've never got a complaint. So people have liked it. And people I like to appeal to the midnight crowd because I find they really get involved with the movies. Like, they're the ones that dress up. They're the ones that go to the...
That's true.
Yeah. And they really get involved with the movies. So that's kind of where I like to aim it at. So... yeah,
The Friday fans are so amazing because, quite honestly, when you do a convention, how they come out in such kind support, and they come from all different walks of life, from all different financial backgrounds, whatever. I have to say, I have never met a fan I have not loved.
Oh, that's cool.
Or wanted to do something with.
That's
odd, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they truly are good people.
You know what
They just have fallen in love with this series.
You know what gets me? I hate it when I see these movies, and this has happened ever since John Lennon was killed. You see these movies that paint fans as crazies.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a movie that came out in '96 called The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley.
Yeah.
I boycotted it because I'm like, this is what Hollywood thinks of me, but yet it's people like me that make their movies money.
I fully agree. I fully agree. There is just, and then, do you want to hear a horrible story? A real quick horrible story? You heard, in Orlando a couple of months ago, right before I left, the 50 people that were killed. And that was a hate crime. But there also was a girl who was killed from The Voice.
Oh, I heard about that.
Adam Levine's pick, and her name was Christine. I don't know if I should share her last name. But anyway, she went to the church that I go to, and she was going to be part of the prayer tour. She was 22 years old, just busted out careerly, was doing amazingly. She was a lovely, lovely girl. And she did a performance that evening, and a fan came up and shot her.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even around long enough to be, like John Lennon. Okay, that was bizarre. I mean, it's awful. It's bizarre. Fans don't do that. Sick people do that.
Exactly.
So let's don't say fan. Let's just say a very sick person does something like that, because a fan does not.
Because I'm still in touch with a lot of the people I've interviewed, and I'm able to do that.
Well, I can hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear that in your voice. You're a fun person that has a great passion and is gifted at what you do, and people want to be around you.
I mean, I've got Tom McLoughlin on my friends list on Facebook. He's not frightened of me. In fact, I'd be happy to add you if you'll have me,
Oh, you're in.
Sure. I've got Melanie.
Don't expect responses too quickly, but I do try. I really try.
I mean, I got happy birthday wishes from Melanie Kinnaman on my birthday. I mean, people I interviewed, I must have heard from 8 or 10 of them on my birthday.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you get some response back because you deserve it. You a fan.
Yeah, but you know what, though? It's about treating people well. Like, I hear these horror stories about William Shatner treating people really badly at conventions and really charging high.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And he got called out by George Takei, of all people.
I love that.
Yep.
I heard the whole little... and then he denies it. And I just think there's no time in life to treat people poorly. Which is why, okay, you do know I make some medallions and some earrings, and I have not even tried to sell them, but I have sold them. I really should get a little website and do this. But I did it for the fans because I made one. I wore one to a convention, and they loved it. And a friend of mine and myself, we're little artisans, we're little craftspeople, and they're beautifully made. And so I like to do things back. If I'm going to charge money, I want to charge money and give you something.
Yeah.
And Tommy signs it, and I sign it, and it becomes like a little keepsake. And they're cool. I didn't mean to even bring that up.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Jean jackets. I've made some jean jackets for people because I think I always love those things.
You know
Why
what?
not?
You want me to tell you a secret?
Please.
I think women look sexy in jean jackets.
I love that.
I actually do. I'll take that over this 50 Shades of Grey stuff, you know. I just think that very casual. I just think it looks nice.
I do too.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, several of my friends wanted me to read and watch 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm just not intrigued. I'm not intrigued with harshness. I'm not intrigued with, and I don't know what that movie is, so that was really harsh of me to say, but it seems so impersonal.
Well, it's no 9.5 weeks.
Which was very sexy. Let's be real.
But 9.5 weeks actually really addressed it too, you know.
I'm sorry, what?
Like really addressed the whole sexual innovative thing, but it also had a great soundtrack. There were so many Canadian artists on that soundtrack.
We must say Canada does ripen great talent.
It does.
And great comedic talent.
Yep. But
and you know what I think one of the gifts are that you guys have?
What's that?
Listening.
Yeah.
I think it's a listening skill that Americans aren't taught as well.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say a lot of us, I think, are about to come over this way after the election. I've heard that from a couple of my interviewees.
Well, I quite honestly don't want to move. I quite honestly am in great prayer over the whole situation. Hysterically, Europe, both Ireland and London. Now, I was not getting TV. So I missed both, most of both, what is it called? Not the debates, the Republican conventions. Forget me. Conventions. So I missed both of the conventions. And so no TV, no this, but I'm hearing things. And so you'd be somewhere, and all of a sudden you'd hear people talking about Trump said this about his daughter, and someone said this, and most people. I had this occur 5 times in 5 separate different conversations. People saying that they thought Americans were doing a practical joke on the world with Trump. That they obviously wanted a woman to be president, and they wanted to make sure she was president. So they aligned this person to make foolery. And I went, no, I don't think we did that. No, not saying that. Not saying that. I am saying, because honestly, this election is a difficult one. From both sides. I'm not in love.
Yeah. Well, I just hope whoever wins leaves Canada alone. I'm hearing stories. Now, these are rumors about making Canada and the States one. I'm like, no, I'm a Canadian.
What?
Yeah, I've actually heard that. Whether it's true, I don't know.
I've not heard that. But you know what? You can be a Canadian and / American. Can I be a American / Canadian? I wouldn't mind.
Sure.
I'd be honored.
Sure. But, Like, I remember when 9/11 happened. Like, I mean, George W. Bush, I understand, was critical of Canada because we didn't rush off to war. Well, Canada did open their homes to American citizens who were trapped at the airports. You know?
No, if you're not going to get me to say anything negative about Canada. I have to say I love it. And your choices, I don't judge.
Yeah.
I honor. Actually, I honor. I honor our country. Having been apart for a month, I can't tell you some of the goodness that I wasn't aware of that our country does do.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't think we have to put anyone else down to be who we are.
Yeah.
And I do think we need to grow and work hard to be better at who we are and have our own identity more secure.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
right now, it's a very confusing period in all the world.
Yeah. But
And I do think you guys are safer probably than the most.
I hope so. I try.
You might have a visit from me.
Yeah. Hey, I'll open
I
my
promise
home.
I'm a good guest.
I'll open my home to you guys. But
I'll be a good guest.
yeah.
I cook well. I garden well. I cook well. I do a lot of yoga. I teach yoga. I can restorative.
You know,
Restorative.
I don't follow the tabloids because I think a lot of it's a load of crap. But
It
I'm
is.
going to tell you, like, I don't want to get off topic here, but I remember when the ice bucket challenge took place.
Yes. I just heard about them redoing it with something else.
Oh, really? Because I started to revive a campaign, and I remember when I did it, the following day, the big thing on the news was Trump and Russell Brand having a Twitter war, and I'm like, really?
Really?
Like when Robin Williams passed away there, unfortunately, there was this campaign called Doubtfire Face. And it was for suicide prevention and depression. And I've never been suicidal. But I've suffered from depression before. And so I tried to do the campaign, and it involves taking a pie in the face and nominating 3 people. And there was a journalist in Los Angeles. And I grew up in a Christian home. And this was a journalist from a Christian organization. And she was talking about on Twitter about the Ice Bucket Challenge. And I asked her, if I nominated her for this challenge, if she would do it. And she said something along the lines of, I'd have to nominate her first. And she had interviewed a lot of the people I had nominated. So I did this challenge. I took a pie in the face, sent it out, and her response was, great video, but I'm not taking a pie in the face. And I was like, what a person.
A pie in the face is an issue? Really?
Yeah, and I've come to discover, and they'll deny this, but they're a religion for profit organization, and that offends me. So when I started doing these interviews, I did another one. And I nominated people that I'd interviewed. Like on my YouTube page, I did one. And Lisa Langlois, who's a Canadian actress, she answered and she did it. And I thought it was
I would do it.
Would you do it?
Of course I would.
Yeah, I would love it.
I would do anything that would at all make a difference in any way. Well, I shouldn't say stuff like that because that's silly. A pie in the face, an ice bucket, of course.
Because here I don't want to air my dirty laundry, but I'm having like my dad right now is just contacted ALS, and yeah, and my mom is off again, on again cancer, and
God bless you.
yeah, and I love my parents, and my dad's still going. I'm really the doctors are quite surprised, but my parents are the sweetest parents you could ever have, and they had to move into my grandparents' old house earlier this year because there's no stairs in there, and but they're still active, Because my uncle gets something up in the woods that he makes into a liquid that my father drinks, and it slowed the process down.
Do you know what I heard?
What?
I heard, and this is literally the last day I was in London, I did have TV.
Yeah.
And they brought the challenge up. And they brought the pie in the face challenge up as a new thing. Like it was sort of a new thing, is
Yeah.
it? I have not heard of it. Okay, so I have heard of it, but only ever so quickly in a news brief in London right before I left. And what they said is the $3.5 million, was it, that was made, or $33 million? It was quite a bit of money was made from the Ice Bucket Challenge. That money totally went to help ALOS. LOS?
Yep, ALS.
Okay. And they've come up with something that's, have you heard this? They've come up with something that's really going to be of great support to it.
Okay.
I just heard this in London. So I don't know what it was because it was a news brief, but I was so grateful. And then I heard they thought it was silly in the beginning to do a challenge like that. And now look what it's brought, and now with the pie in the face. So forgive me, the pie in the face, is that because Harry went on television and discussed depression and coming forward with it? Is that where it came from?
Well,
Prince Harry?
I don't know where it came from, but I know there was a foundation come up called the Doubtfire Face Challenge after Robin Williams had passed away.
Okay, so that's where it came from.
Yeah, and I got to thinking, if I'm going to do this, I want it. People want to see people in the industry do it. You know?
I agree.
Like when I went after that journalist, like I was going after I wanted to see Emma Stone do it because I was a huge Emma Stone fan.
You want good people. Yeah.
Yeah, like people I like. And she had interviewed Emma Stone, and there was a group of people that nominated Angelina Jolie. She interviewed these people, and she wouldn't even help us out.
I just think that's horrific.
Yeah, it is horrific. So, like I said, Lisa Langlois did it, and I have some other interviewees that are going to do it as well. And I think the best way to defeat that kind of answer from that person is to get other people in on it. I mean, it's for depression, and depression is...
You know what I think would be brilliant?
What's that?
I mean, I don't know if it's possible, but since Tom Matthews lives here, Darcy DeMoss, Vinny Guastafaro, Cindy Guastafaro, I mean, we have a lot of the cast that we're still in contact with, to get a group of us in front of Jason's coffin and in front of the whatever.
Yeah.
And all do it together.
That would be great.
I don't know how I would do that since I'm not on Facebook. But I think that would be something I'd be willing to try to get to happen.
Yeah. And if you nominate 3 people, try to nominate at least one person from the industry.
No, I'm talking, wouldn't it be fun to nominate the whole group?
Oh, yeah.
And film it together.
Oh, that would be great.
That's what I'm saying. If we did it in unison, all together, I think it's a much better thing than doing one person at a time.
Oh, yeah.
If we got a group from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I remember too, because I remember I nominated.
And I know we're not big deals or anything like that. I'm not trying to imply that. What I'm trying to imply is that you know who you could. Oh, I have ideas, but I don't want to say them on air.
Well, you know what? When Lisa Langlois did it, she got 500 hits on her YouTube video that week.
Well, I know Tommy would get a lot.
Yeah.
I know he would. But I think since I've never done anything like that, I'm sure I wouldn't get hits, and that's not what it's about. For me, it would be about doing it. And doing it, if we did it en masse, I think it would be a much bigger situation than just me doing it, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let's figure this out. Who can we get? Now, Tom Matthews is doing your show, right?
Well, I got it. Is he LA based?
Yes.
Perfect, because I'm in contact with him now.
He's lovely.
Great. He wanted to do it.
His wife is brilliant.
Huh?
His wife is brilliant. He is just such a good man.
Yeah, he was he's going to be in a convention this weekend, but he didn't know when the signing would end, so he asked for next Tuesday. And he said Pacific time. Now Pacific time, since he's in LA, perfect. I'm 4 hours ahead of you guys, so I can get my day job in, and it's perfect,
What's your day job?
I work at my father's water plant.
I love that.
Yeah, we sell spring, and I'm not talking just spring. We sell actual spring water, and I lug those great big bottles, and I load 1 or 2 trucks a day.
God bless you.
Yeah, I worked 10 hours today.
Now, I'm just going to tell you, do you take care of your back really well?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, because yoga is brilliant for it. I do Christ-centered yoga, so when I meditate, I just meditate and I listen, I try to pray and I try to think of people and stuff like that. So, but one of the things is just putting your buttocks against a wall and putting your legs straight up the wall. You need an inversion every day because you want to oxygenate your brain and you want your legs. That's when our legs get so exhausted and our backs. But I have so many good things I could tell you about.
Wow.
That one little thing, putting your legs up against the wall with your buttocks against the wall, that L shape, and your body flat on the wall, roll your shoulders back, put your head in alignment, and lay there, it just resettles your body and your back. And literally, they say and this is not yoga thing. This is all the high-end medical institutes say 5 minutes of an inversion a day reduces 85% chance of strokes, heart attacks. If you have Alzheimer's, it reduces the effects of Alzheimer's. It reduces the effects of a million things. Oxygenating your brain is huge. And that doesn't mean a huge inversion. It doesn't mean a headstand. It doesn't mean, that headstands are great and wonderful if you can do them. But it literally just lay on your bed and put your head lower than your heart.
Okay.
Sincerely, you can look it up. That's why I went through all the certification and everything. I don't teach classes, but I have a whole yoga room, and I just do it as a blessing. I love my friends. I want us all to be healthy and strong.
Yeah.
So that's one of my passions.
But yeah, that's what I do during the day. Like I do this radio show as I'm a volunteer here. It's a campus station, and I love doing.
Not for long.
What's that?
Not for long, Mr. Gilbert. I see a budding star right before my eyes.
Well, you know what? I have had people say to me, you never know where this could lead.
Sincerely.
Yeah, because I've had people, I've had Alfred Hitchcock's granddaughter on the phone with me. That was
lovely.
Yeah, and to get her on here, she'd have to trust me to come on here. So I like to exert that when I try to get people on here, that I'm not going to gossip. I don't care about their sex life or what they've done. People want to know about the movies or the music or whatever they've been in,
It's funny. I forgot that I'd been in. So when I was in London the last night, there was a Rod Stewart, whom I have to say I was in love with when I was in my teenage years.
Okay.
Crazy in love with. That I'd go to Santa Barbara for a concert, I'd go here for a concert. It's just ridiculous. Well, I lost that passion and love for him at some point.
Okay.
I don't know when. And then at 21, I was a dancer.
Okay.
I just turned 22 or something. And I got hired to do a Rod Stewart video.
Oh, which one?
Well, this is the hysterical thing, is I could not remember which one. I mean, I remember what I did and what the thing is, but I had such a hard experience that I forgot about it. Literally, They took over the Sunset Marquis Hotel. They hired a lot of dancers, a lot of dancers, but a lot of not real dancers.
Okay.
And a lot of very sexy girls. And so it was tonight. It's not tonight's the one. I've got to look it up because this is ridiculous. So anyway, in his video, in this, I was watching this documentary on Rod Stewart, and it really was a great documentary. And all of a sudden my video comes on that I totally forgot I was in. That is funny.
Wow.
When you don't even know you've done something. But why it was so hard is because I was supposed to be, it was like all different girls love him. So it's at this hotel. He's singing too, and then you see these sexy girls come through shades, through this, through that, every type of girl in the world. Well, because I had very long hair, it was like below my waist, and it was whatever. I looked very Victorian. So they put me in a very Victorian lace-looking straight dress, and my hair, they spent 3 hours curling it, and And so during the master, what we were supposed to do was a close-up, and he was singing. Supposedly it would turn around, and he was singing to me. He didn't want all that. He wanted me. So we had rehearsed it. We had done that, but he wasn't very pleasant, and everybody was getting high and drunk, and I'm thinking, we're working. What are you doing? So in the master, so when you first shoot the thing, the guitar player picks me up and throws me in the pool with him.
Okay.
So now we can't do the close-up. The close-up was next because now I'm sopping wet. My hair that took 3 hours, they don't have 3 more hours to do my hair. So now all you see me is diving into the pool and hanging on to him.
Wow.
I know. But I think it's pretty funny.
I gotta say, though, you have gorgeous, gorgeous red hair. I love your red hair.
Well, it's shorter now, but I'm grateful I still have it.
Yeah, and Jason Lives, I gotta say, I thought you were beautiful. I think Tom McLoughlin has just great taste.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you were saying something about, I don't know, but it reminded me of a puddle and my head being viced in the mud so that my body could raise. For whatever reason, the producer thought that was a good idea. I don't know why.
Yeah,
with the reg.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, what was you saying?
Well, you've heard the story probably.
Well, I'll tell you what I have heard. I have heard that when that spear went through the window, it almost got you.
And it was a real spear, and it was real glass.
Oh, man. That's a dangerous stunt.
I know, and you're so young and you're so foolish, and you trust and you want to be good for your husband, of course. You don't want to be the one that's saying, I'm not going to do that. You want to be, I'm team. So I didn't know it was real glass, and I knew it had to be a real spear because I was paying attention to what they were saying, and I knew I had to move quickly. But you couldn't move that quickly, and it was by an inch.
Oh, man.
But the mud was scarier.
Yeah, you're
Being
quite the screamer. Yeah.
was ridiculous. Huh?
You're quite the screamer, too.
Well, yes, I am, and I've screamed on many movies. Whenever they needed Walla Walla scream, because some people don't know how to scream, they just don't.
And
I'm pretty good.
And, of course, you had that American Express card that you can't leave home without.
That's so funny because I had no clue what Tommy was doing there. I had no clue. Because he doesn't always tell me everything he's up to. But literally getting out of the car, it wasn't good acting. It was me not being able to finish the shot because I couldn't get to my money. It turned into good acting. I kept praying he was going to cut the take because it took me so long to get the credit cards out.
Yeah.
but that was me just trying, like, hon, cut the tape. Like, here, please. But I'm begging him to cut the tape because I'm not doing it how we rehearsed it.
Well, I said to Tom McLoughlin, I said, how do you get your wife to do a scene like that in a mud puddle? Would she undercook your food or something? What?
Thank you. Thank you. All the scenes I had were harsh, and I did my own things. No one else did their own thing. Well, maybe somebody did, but mine were scarier.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you were committed, and then that was a great sequence. You had Tony Goldwyn. I'm going to tell you, the next time you travel and you say, put the car in reverse, you make him listen or you put him out.
I know. And Tommy, the reason he wrote that scene is because I always made fun of horror films. I always said, oh, yeah, right. Like you just wouldn't turn away and run. You see someone like that, Tommy, are you really going to sit there? And that's why you wrote the scene like you did, because that's who I am. I'm the person that's like, of course you don't go out there. Oh, who's out there? Of course you don't.
Yeah.
So that's why he wrote it like that. But the scariest part was after getting out of the puddle, because I'm not sure if you know, it was wind chill factor of 18 below. It was like 32 degrees, wind chill factor of 18 below.
Okay.
And so I'm in a heated puddle, praise God. I love those grips. I love those gaffers. They all work together to make this nice puddle for me that was heated, thank God.
Yeah.
But when I got out, we were literally in a camp. So they called lunch, and I heard them call lunch, and my head was still viced in the mud. For a moment, just for a moment, I got a wee claustrophobic and thought I was going to die, that they forgot about me. Wow. Of course they didn't, but for that second. So before lunch, and I know how long lunch is, and we hadn't gotten the shot yet, I knew I had to go back in the puddle. I had to go to the camp, which, you know, girls' camps, they have like 8 showers, 10 showers in a row. And it's not heated because in the summer you don't need it heated. And it's only ice-cold water.
Oh.
So it's ice-cold water I'm taking a shower in, totally in the open. Anybody could walk in because they're not private stalls. Trying to get that mud out of my hair, freezing, starving.
Oh, man.
And literally just 15 blankets on, because then we had to dry all my clothes because we had to go back to the puddle. But for weeks, I was getting clay out of my ears because it's that Georgia red clay. You could not get it out.
Wow.
That was the worst part of it, was the ice-cold shower, the freezing. And everybody's eating warm food, and it's the middle of the night, and I'm freezing. And for that one moment, I thought, they're going to forget me. I'm going to die in a puddle because of Jason. This isn't what it's supposed to be.
No. Oh, man. No, that would have been bad. So
Those thoughts do affect you, though.
I would imagine that. Wow. But no, I said to Tom, when I mentioned that you had made contact with me through the email, you get back to me, and I joked with Tommy. I said, "Do you think she's on vacation, stranded in a mud puddle somewhere at the side of the road with her American Express card?" He says, "I don't think so."
Okay, giggle, giggle, giggle. I had so many scary experiences, you have no idea. And yes, I was almost in a mud puddle. No, I wasn't in a mud puddle, but I could compare some of my experiences as to being in a mud puddle. That's scary. My first night in Dublin.
Okay.
My first night in Dublin, the girl, I do an Airbnb because everybody tells me I have to. They're incredible. They're wonderful. Well, now I'm more wizened on them, and I could do it well.
Okay.
I don't need to go there. But it was an Airbnb, but literally underground. Literally, it was this oldest house, maybe 200-300 years old, and it was an apartment underground that had just one window way up high, that maybe 3 feet, and that's where the air was. No other windows. No, they had a little sink, a little bathroom, but the water was brown. No water, nothing. She gives me a key. She runs and leaves and locks the door. Locks me into this apartment, not an apartment, this room, alone, with no water except this brown water. I just come to Dublin. It's 7 o'clock. I haven't eaten. I haven't anything. I call her, and I said, I'm so very sorry. The skeleton key doesn't seem to be working that you gave me. Is there tricks? Is there ways? Because I have an old house as well, and I understand, sometimes locks. And instead of just saying, I'm coming over, I'll fix it, she just kept telling me I was wrong. Of course the key works. I said, no, I'm sure the key works. I'm sure it's me. But are there tricks? Like, do I push against it? Do I pull? Old houses, sometimes the keys are difficult or whatever. And this was a skeleton key. So she goes, well, it's to the left. Do not go to the right. It's to the left. And I go, oh, thank you. I hang up. 20 more minutes. I'm working on trying to get out. Can't get out. I'm going, darn it. I don't want to call her. And she's like 27 years old. And a fun girl, a party girl, not like a bookworm girl.
Okay.
I call her back, and it sounds like she's at a party somewhere, which I totally understand. I accept. And she goes, well, I'm in bed. Oh. And if you could try just 10 more minutes. If not, I'll get out of bed, and I'll get dressed, and I'll come over and unlock the door for you. Now, what would you do if someone said that to you?
I'd be like, you got to get much sleep in bed if you got all the noise behind you.
I wish I was that wise to say it. I did mention, I hear noise. Oh, it's the television.
Yeah. Turn the television off then.
The television. I assure you. So you just don't want to bother people. It's your first day there. You feel like a weakling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had been flying for 25 hours because the first plane I gave up my seat to a family so that they could all fly together.
That was nice of you.
It was fine, but I still should have made, that was to London, and I still should have made my second plane to Dublin because there was 2 flights in one day. Well, for whatever reason, that detour, I missed my second plane. So then I had to wait another long time to get on my plane to Dublin. So I had been flying for like 28 hours at this point. I was starving. I needed water. And I'm not going to bother her again because obviously she doesn't want me to. I climbed out that window, and I praise God. I do yoga, so I could. And the only reason I decided to do it is because it was onto what they call a garden, what we call a slab of cement and a wall around the slab of cement that you can get out of. So I climbed out a window, climbed over this slab of cement, and got out so I could have a dinner. Is that ridiculous?
It is ridiculous.
It's outrageous. I felt like I was in a mud puddle. Like, what do I do here? Whatever. So it was 9 o'clock, and guess what? In Dublin, they stopped serving food at 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Except the Templar Bar section. Now, Templar Bar sounds like the sleazy bar section, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To me, it sounded like a sleazy area. So I tried to avoid it. I went to every place I could find. Finally, I end up in the Templar Bar section. When you go to Dublin, don't be afraid. The Templar Bar section is the tourist section, and it's darling, and it's all the old streets, and it's all old great music, and it's just wonderful, and they serve food till 11. So I get there. I'm grateful. I realized that was foolish, but, sometimes we have to go through hard things to get good things, and life's tough in the big city. So I'm watching the Irish band play, and I'm filming it for my family because I know they love Irish music. So as I'm filming it, all of a sudden, and I'm pronouncing it wrong, but a barone player. Do you know what that instrument is? It's an
No.
Irish drum. It's spelled barone, but I'm not sure it's pronounced that way. Anyway, that player starts playing. I start to pull my camera over to him. I promise you it was Tommy. And Tommy's the type of person who has done silly things like that before as surprises. My God, I've never seen someone look like Tommy. Tommy plays the barone. It was Tommy's hat, Tommy's jacket, Tommy's smile, the way he moved, his weight, not rock star, same length of hair, but Irish barone player. So I'm filming him going, this is crazy. This is not Tommy. This is not Tommy. This is not Tommy. But my vision's kind of bad. So I'm going, it looks identical. I had to go up to him, 2 feet away from him, before I saw the difference. That was my first night in Dublin.
Wow.
I've never seen anyone that looks like Tommy before, ever. And he plays the barone, and he was wearing Tommy's hat.
Wow.
And as soon as he opened his mouth, I realized it wasn't Tommy. And what was embarrassing is it looked like I was flirting. And I went, no. And I just disappeared. Because I went, you're not going to believe this, but you look identical. I think you might be a relative to someone.
Wow.
And, of course, that sounded like a line.
Yeah.
But Tommy has seen the film, and he agrees. Everybody has seen the film, agrees that it's Tommy. But it wasn't Tommy. Isn't that weird?
That is. Oh. Maybe
I had
it's
the weirdest experiences.
Maybe he was cloned.
Or maybe I was exhausted. But no, it was Tommy. I mean, it looked like him. But at the time, I'm thinking, is this a mirage? Am I just too tired? And that I'm in Dublin? It's just weird. But everybody that has seen it agrees.
Well, I gotta say, you worked with C.J. Graham as Jason, and of course, you shoved the spear in your mouth there at the end of the scene.
So politely.
Yeah. What was he like?
C.J. happened to be the most polite Marine you've ever met. He had come from the military, so it was always respect. Respect before he would do anything. That's where I think the charm of Jason came out. Tommy is brilliant. He's a brilliant mime. But I don't know that another Jason could have brought the humor and the charm to the character.
Okay.
I mean, did you see that in CJ?
Yeah, now you mention it, yes.
Like when he looks at the van going up and down, and he's, what's that?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yep.
I mean, no, I don't think another Jason could have done that. And before a kill, before a touch, before a scene, he'd always make sure I was okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, he never, and he was more mortified about the spear than anybody. He and I were both terrified.
Yeah. Well, of course
But
he
in
wants
a good
to.
way.
Yeah. Of course he wants to make sure, being a Marine, he wants to make sure you're taken care of.
Absolutely. And my father was a Marine, so we had so much good conversation.
Yeah. There was an interesting cast in that film. Like we mentioned Tom Matthews, who was I thought it's interesting because I interviewed Melanie Kinnaman on here from Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. I thought Melanie was beautiful and loved her. Yeah. And, of course, John Shepherd had played Tommy Jarvis in that. And nothing against John Shepherd, but I really like what Tom Matthews brought to the role. Like, he was just a lot more out there energy, He
was really a breakthrough actor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And is. And I wish and I pray the best for him still, because his work, I think you're correct. I think he brought so much to it, not to diss on anyone else, but honestly, I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just owned it. He just owned that role, and I was grateful other people didn't come back.
Well, I gotta say that scene in the lake with him and CJ there, that was just a great third act of the film, a great showdown where he's out there in the lake with the flame around
I
the
love
boat.
it.
Yeah, but
And you know where the ending shots were shot, right?
yeah, Tom McLoughlin said it was I think he said it was his father's pool.
His dad's pool.
I guess his dad really appreciated it too. Really liked it.
Loved it. He loved it. I mean, things like that. That's what always cracks me up. Mausoleum. One Dark Night. It was originally called Mausoleum. One Dark Night. The last scenes were in our backyard, and I played Robin Evans because she wouldn't do it. I mean, just funny little things like that. I love that there's such a community.
Yeah.
I believe in community. I believe in it's just who I am. And, it's so hard to end movies.
Yeah.
Easter was the funniest because we were there Easter, and I wasn't working.
Okay.
So I had to play Easter Bunny for everybody. I just had so much fun.
You know what's funny?
All the cast and crew getting little Easter treats.
Oh, did you wear bunny ears?
I probably did.
But
nobody saw me.
There's a picture on Facebook of Jason underwater with the chain around his neck, and somebody put Nemo and Dory from the Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
Oh, I love that.
That was so funny.
And I am such a stinking Dory. I've got to see it.
Oh, if I find it, I'll have to send it to you because I thought it was funny. I think Adrian King, had shared it out on Facebook because I think that's where I first saw it. But yeah, one thing I thought Tommy really brought the film too was I love that big car chase sequence in it, and of course Jennifer Cook playing the heroine in it. I really like what she brought to it. And again, I would have loved to have seen Melanie Kinnaman. And I love Melanie Kinnaman. I can't say enough good things about her. Love her. But I'm going to say, Jennifer Cook, played a great heroine. And that scene in the car, I think, was her best moment where she's just speeding along there. I mean, you get a car chase in a Jason film.
Yeah. I love the Bond little elements Tommy tried to bring, like in the beginning with the shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And the car chase. And I like that he wanted the girls smarter.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I like that he wanted a snappy 40s girl like Jennifer.
Yeah.
To just be snappier and more fun.
What was Jennifer Cook like?
I loved her. I really loved her. She was very dedicated, and I think she was great.
You don't see her much anymore.
I personally, we didn't spend a lot of time together. But when we were on set and stuff, she was great. I'm going to say the fun times we had is when it would be the middle of the night.
Okay.
And they're setting shots and stuff like that. And we're all sitting around fires trying to keep warm because it was so cold. Does everybody express to you how cold it was? Did anybody? I hope I'm not the only whiner.
Right now, I think you're the first one.
Tommy never mentioned how cold it was. How dare he?
You know what? I have got to listen to that interview. Like, I've got it on my flash drive. Yeah. It hasn't aired out yet. Maybe he did, but right now I couldn't tell you exactly.
The cold was one of the elements.
And Jennifer had to jump in.
Exactly.
She had to jump.
Imagine having to do that. I mean, it was so. The fun parts we had were sitting around a campfire, everybody trying to stay awake and warm, and playing foolish games like a do or dare or marry whatever. And the blessing was that I got to be a part of all that, but I didn't have to play because I was married. So I got to listen and be a part of all those fun little stories and not have to join in.
Wow. Yes, and David Kagan, I got to say, I really love what he brought into the movie as Sheriff Garris. Some of the great lines he had, like wearing your balls as earrings, he threatens Tom.
Exactly. And do you know who he's named after? Did Tommy tell you?
Oh, he might. Who was he named after?
Mick Garris.
Mick Garris. Now I know that
Everybody's named after somebody. So Mick Garris, the director.
Okay.
And Mick Garris is married to Cynthia Garris, whose father, I don't know if you know this, was Lou Zamperini.
I didn't know that.
Unbroken.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie's first film.
Oh, great movie. Yeah.
All I'm saying is you might get a connection there.
Nice.
If you got to Mick Garris easily, no, they're very good friends now since that movie.
Nice.
Just sharing.
Wow. And David Kagan, of course, had that big death scene, too. And I guess...
Oh, he did a great job.
And Tom McLoughlin said...
Michael Swan. I mean, just ridiculously wonderful. And Whitney Rideback.
Yeah.
He is amazing.
Oh, he was hilarious. He was trying to put the tree branch back on the tree when they're doing
so funny. And you could get, if you're interested, I'm sure he would do the pie in the face. All those people would.
And that had Anne Ryanson was in that scene. She was one of the people playing paintball, and she was in Caddyshack.
She was in a million things, and I don't know her personally. But wouldn't it be great? That would be a great person to get.
Oh yeah, he was so funny. I hated seeing his body parts when they turned up because he was just so funny,
Yeah, you kind of hope. He's a very good director too.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
He is. He teaches. He's a professor at a college, and he does some amazing things. Now, David Kagan, I believe, also he is an acting coach for sure.
Well, Tommy McLoughlin was saying that he had the most trouble with the censors during his death scene.
Yes, they changed it like 50 times.
Yeah. It
was just too. I mean, it was too graphic, but he did nothing. All it was noise. It was nothing really.
And to think of this, in the thick of the stuff that the censors are letting by today, stuff that is PG-13 that really should be R, you know?
Course.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous. But
Tommy got away with a lot too.
Yeah, I guess one of the stunt people was the cop that got that landed in the canoe there, got the knife or something thrown at him, got him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't an easy shoot.
No.
It was a fun shoot. It was a very fun shoot, and I think everybody, and I'd be 100% sure. I don't know, but I believe everybody had a great time. As difficult as it is, I'm putting on a little medicine on my dog, who has a little hot spot, and he doesn't like it. The life stuff in the big city, he's got to have it because he's eating it.
There you go.
Yes.
You know,
I don't mind if you don't mind me asking you a personal question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have a dog?
You know what? My parents have 2 dogs.
Good.
Yeah,
Everybody
they have
needs a dog in their life.
Oh, and they get the best dogs. They got an Australian Shepherd, just the nicest dog.
Oh.
I don't know what what type of dog the other one is, but I have a kitty.
I love cats.
Yeah, we got a really nice, and ours, we're what's the word for it? We got them. Not the pound, but we got them from
rescue.
Yeah, rescue. Yep. that's where we got them. So, yeah.
And you know this month away, I'm still processing because it was such a coming home was a challenge as well.
Okay.
And the interim was such a challenge as well. As wonderful experiences, there were those hard ones, like me climbing out of a window.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Do I want to do that? Is it dignified? Is it appropriate? All I kept thinking is, and the next day when she came with her key,
Okay.
she kept showing me how her key worked. And then I said, could you just show me how this key works?
And she couldn't, could she?
She kept changing the subject and turning it around to her key. She was, and I saw she was doing that, so I didn't want to bug her. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I just gave her a couple of tips on Airbnb. Make sure the person has a key that works. Leave water.
Yeah.
Make sure that the person knows they're going to be in a dungeon. And make sure they are fine with that there's no air and there's no...
Oh, gee.
I didn't say it that way, but I meant it. But I'm definitely going to write it into a movie.
Oh, that'd be
And
great.
It's going to be called Mind the Gap. And it's about a woman thinking she's going for a purpose. And yes, the purpose was met. The purpose was met, but in no way the way she expected. And on the last day, you know what I got to see? I'll
What's
go
that?
back to the movie. Forgive me.
Yep, sure.
I do digress, but I happen to have a lot of. I studied Shakespeare for 2 years, so I love Shakespeare, and just going around to all the monuments to go to Shoreditch, where the first theater was, where the first this was, where Shakespeare went to church. And the reason you know this, I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this. Did you know you were taxed if you were penalized if you didn't go to church?
Gee, I don't think that was how Jesus brought it, but
Exactly. Amen.
yeah.
Amen. You didn't have to be a Christian at that point, because at that point, that's when Protestant you just had to support the king. So it really didn't even matter why. You just had to show support every week. And you could probably be an atheist as long as you showed up, but you couldn't say you were an atheist. No, Jesus did not want that.
It's funny because Jesus, he was open to healing people, and he didn't charge people.
Amen. And he didn't penalize them for their sin. He blessed them and said, sin no more.
I've been a Christian since 1988. I've been baptized, back then, and I read from my Bible every. Yeah.
You would have loved this prayer tour then. And may I send you a gift from it?
Sure.
I'm going to send you. It's called a mashup pin, and it's a little flag, and it's a flag, the British flag and the American flag mixed. And every time you think about it, you're to pray. Every time you see it. You don't have to wear it, but it is cool. If you put it on a jean jacket, it's very cool. But every time you think you see it, you just say a little prayer for someone. Now, the intent was to pray for the countries and the church, but I just say pray because, you know what? Sometimes you have something else to pray about.
I've got lots I pray about. I got my parents, and I got, my family, and I got, I even pray for the people I interview, because not enough people pray for people in the industry.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do,
Gregory,
yeah.
I'm in love with you because that's exactly right. I was praying before this interview.
I actually had an actress from one of the Friday films. Her mom was not doing very well, very sick, and I told her, I said, I'm going to pray for you tonight.
Could you do one prayer for me?
Sure, I can.
My family?
I would gladly do that.
And just God's will. And God's will is always the right will.
And you got my word. I will definitely pray for you and your family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going through hard times. And I thought that month away would be that's what the goal was. And it is. And I know God's working. And so I just have to sit back and be quiet.
It's another thing, too, that reporter that didn't do the Doubtfire Face, like they do a they review movies based on Christian standards, and they recommend a lot of these faith-based movies that are so poorly made, but yet, yeah, really poorly made.
Exactly.
But that yet they come down and I've actually read reviews where they've said nasty things about other film critics, and they blocked me on social media. Because
all I can say is you would love this church. Oh, gosh, when you go to London or you come to L.A. or Boston, they have one in Boston. I know these pastors. They bring up the movies. They were discussing, okay, what's the difference between, and not in a negative way, James Bond and Justin Bourne.
Jason Bourne, yeah.
Jason Bourne. Okay, what would you say? I mean, that's how he starts his lecture. You know what I mean? Or about history. But what's the difference between, what would you say the known difference between James Bond and Jason Bourne?
Well, Jason Bourne had the whole amnesia thing, whereas James Bond kind of, he's kind of sent out, kind of. He's kind of right there with his group.
Amen. And he goes, and that's Christ. He goes, and he wasn't saying James Bond was Christ. He was saying he had his identity. And we got it when you don't have your identity. You need your identity in Christ, and then be sent forward and just work, because your best is His will.
Well, these people, yeah.
And never should you, just because it's faith-based, just because it can be a bad movie. It can be bad. Why can't we do great movies? And why put down? I can't imagine. Why would you be shunned?
Well, because I called them out. I looked into what they were doing, but you know, when they're given 4 stars to garbage like Fireproof because Kirk Cameron's a Christian, I'm sorry, I saw Fireproof. It was awful. But yet they criticize Quentin Tarantino because he's violent and profane. But yet, why aren't these faith-based movies taking the stuff that Tarantino is doing right and applying them to their films?
Okay, well, all I can say is every pastor I know brings up those elements because it's real. And the Los Angeles, it's called Reality. It's the name of the church. So Reality, it's about, like, a lot of people in the business go to this church. So they talk about that stuff. They talk about the difficulties of being a Christian in the world today and how it's not a defensive position. I don't have to at all fight faith. In London, I wasn't trying to evangelize to anybody.
No.
Just be the best witness, the best light, sow the best seed you can.
And these people weren't even reviewing any of the Canadian films. They didn't review Hyena Road, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a better war film than American Sniper. And they never ever reviewed any of the Trailer Park Boys movies.
I love those. You know, Tommy's a huge fan of that.
The Trailer Park Boys? Well, they live about 6 hours away.
Tommy knows them.
I can't seem to get them on the show.
Huh?
I'm struggling to get them on the show because I love.
Call Tommy back. He knows them.
Oh yeah, because Ivan Reitman produced their first movie.
I know.
And of course they did Swear in that, which I enjoyed more than most people did. And of course,
I don't know why they're so funny to me, but I love their series. We were in Canada when they were doing their series before they did a movie.
Yeah.
And I guess I just fell in love with them. We just found it the funniest thing in the world.
I think they're hilarious. I'm glad you know who they are because you're about the first people I know in Los Angeles have heard of them. Like people in Texas are familiar with them.
People are foolish.
I think they're hilarious.
They are.
And of course,
well, in my opinion, they are.
And of course,
I understand some people don't like them, and that's fine. But come on, I happen to find that humor hysterical.
Well, yeah. I look a lot of their videos up on YouTube, and especially Ricky. I like Ricky because
I know. Bubbles. What about Bubbles?
Yeah, Bubbles.
Wait a second. Where can I send this to you? Because I'm really going to do it. I can send it to the station or the school. I'm not a stalker.
when we're done the interview, I'll keep you online.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, but I do have a few more questions here to ask you.
Ask.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, one of my favorite people that was in Jason Lives, I thought this woman was really, really pretty, was Carrie Noonan.
Love her.
Who played Paula.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. I felt bad that she was used as really bad interior decorating in the cabin.
Yes, I didn't appreciate that at all.
But
I don't think she did either. But she loves the scene.
But I thought she was great. I know I looked her up for contact for an interview, but I couldn't find any contact information. But I thought that I liked her in it, and I liked the when she was talking to the little girl there, like she brought such realism to it. Somebody who really should be at that camp, you know.
Okay, and guess what her name was?
Paula.
The little girl.
Oh, the little girl. Nancy, right?
Yup. And what was she doing?
Praying.
Amen.
Oh, wow, yeah, and Jason went away.
Yes.
There you go. But
see, Tommy did use some of my influence.
There you go. Yeah, I liked Carrie Noonan.
Few people know that. I don't think anybody knows that.
Did you like
I could be wrong.
Did you like The Passion of the Christ? Because I loved it.
I did.
It was brilliantly filmed too. Like some great shots in it.
It was brilliant, and I think that I feel very bad because obviously there is something wrong with a man when he does certain things that he does. That doesn't take away. I think he's very depressed. There's that pie in the face thing. Obviously, there's something going on because his work is brilliant.
Yeah. Yep.
His work is brilliant, and you know what? He without sin cast the first stone. I'm so sick of people throwing people under a bus because
I've been there. I've been thrown under the bus.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I've been there. I actually had a youth pastor who went behind my back because I like to go to the nightclubs, but I don't drink. I'm a designated driver, but I know all the DJs, and I'll go and I'll mingle with them at the clubs. All the shooter girls know me. They're not threatened by me. And I'll go and I'll have a pineapple juice. I'm not going to get drunk on that. But I had a youth pastor that found out that I was going there, and he went behind my back. And he had somebody in the church come and talk to me about going to a place where Christians shouldn't go. And I knew that this youth pastor put him up to it because I think he found out through a group email he was on that I was doing my film reviews on. And I would talk about some of the funny things I saw at the nightclubs, without gossiping about people. And he basically told people in the congregation that I was a drunk and a pervert. And I'm going to tell you, when I saw him, I'm going to tell you, you want to talk about beelining for the exit.
Yeah.
I was angry.
That's a righteous anger.
I was so angry because, I don't drink. I'll have I got wine home, but I drink at home.
Say, you know what? What was Jesus' first miracle?
Turning water into wine.
Amen. So please, no one says in the Bible, it says don't get drunk. Don't be a drunkard. Don't be a gossip. Don't be a this. Don't be a that. It doesn't say you can't have wine or whatever. It doesn't mention that.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Lamb by Christopher Moore?
I haven't.
Please read it. You'll love it. Obviously it's a novel, but it's of his youth, his childhood youth, and what it is in this century, God decides we need another gospel, and we need the gospel from his best friend from his childhood.
Okay.
So they wake up, and his name's Biff. They call him Biff.
Okay.
And this angel wakes him up, and he comes into New York to write his version of from the time he was 6 or something to the time he went into ministry. It's brilliant. It's actually theologically correct. Some people find it offensive because Biff's best friend thinks Mary is a what is that? I don't even know what it is, but a mother's MF, like a hot mom.
Oh,
Whatever
MILF.
a MILF.
Yeah.
And that if Joseph dies, I'm going to marry your mom. I'm just going to marry your mom. So that's disrespectful in their opinion. I think at the period, it wouldn't be. I mean, of course there were attractive women. Of course there were friends of friends. You know what I mean?
And what people need to realize too, when David saw Bathsheba, I guarantee you he saw her fully naked.
Yes.
She didn't have a bathing suit on.
She was bathing.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure these idiots that from that magazine that decided to shun me, if the Bathsheba scene was shot the way it would be reality, it'd probably get an R rating.
Oh yeah.
And another thing I want to point out too, sex. A lot of people in the church think sex is just for procreation. Well, I don't want children. Does that mean I'm not allowed to have sex? Well,
where does it say that? Nowhere does it say that. It says go and be fruitful, or don't. But
in the Song of
God
Solomon,
made sex for us to feel it's a bonding thing with another human being, and that's psychologically proven that it helps us cleave to a human.
in the Song of Solomon, there's no mention of procreation at all.
All I can say is you're, in my opinion, you're totally right on, and I don't know another theologian that would disagree with you.
Yeah.
There are people that say foolish things. There are.
Well, this magazine, for example, that criticizes other film critics, it's like every time they do an article.
What magazine is this? I need to know.
I'll let you know whenever.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to put myself. Number one, I don't want to give them any promotion.
Fully agree.
Because I think they're garbage. I think their magazine is garbage. But
I keep forgetting we're on the air. That's why I say.
Yeah, but I think their magazine is garbage. I think they can do reviews without running down. And another thing too, they talk about movies they recommend making the most money. You know what my favorite movie of the year was? Was Everybody Wants Some, and I've seen it 9 times.
I've not seen it. I haven't seen so many movies, you're not going to believe it.
Well, guarantee you.
Recently.
This one here is going to have a cult following.
Oh, I've got to see it.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Everybody Wants Some. It was David Linklater's spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused.
Oh, I bet it's great.
Yeah, but because it made like $3 million, and of course they like to compare, and they'll say movies they recommend make the most money. Well, number one, family films generally make more money because there's more people going.
Of course.
Exactly.
And it's just a different type. You can't compare an apple and an orange, and I'm so tired of that. Honestly, I don't look at reviews so well because of that very reason. I don't know the person. I'll ask somebody, but if I don't know someone, I'm not going to care so much if they don't like something because they don't know me. They don't know what I like.
And these people are always promoting themselves too, because I remember I guess there was a riot in like Baltimore, I think it was, and they tried to blame it on the Purge movie. And they said, if you donate money to them, this won't happen anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How dare you?
This is what they're doing with the Bible.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, they blocked me because they're afraid of me, and they've got good reason to be.
Well, you know what? That should be stated, though. You should get that out there.
Well, I got the tweets of that female from their magazine. I got them copied and pasted. And once I get the right person on here, I'm going to bring it up because she won't be able to sue me if I've got the proof.
Exactly.
But I'd love to bring that out. But of course they're going to call me a troll and say I am guilty of it. I did go after them, but I'm not the only one that's gone after them either. A lot of the facts that they come up.
But if you're going after them for a real reason.
Yeah.
This is, I think I respect that. Now, I, on the other hand, wouldn't. But not because I'm better, but because I'm lazier. I'll garden before I'll go on the internet and look.
Well, I noticed too,
whatever.
other people, they block me, but I noticed other people that counter them on their page, their comments aren't on there anymore. And I'm like, wow.
I had a friend who I just brought up. They were talking about Trump while I was away. And I went, oh, my gosh, I get to mention it to someone in the States. I want to know what's really going on. And about him making that comment about his daughter,
Okay.
which I really still don't even know what it is. But I said what I said. I just said, is that true? Did he really? And I also said, people think it's a comedy, that we're just trying to whatever. This is a dear friend that I didn't even know what her political beliefs were. She not only chastised me, she removed my comment and said there'll be no hating on my thing.
Wow.
Me hating? I wasn't hating. I was asking, is it true? And why? Really?
Oh, people are ridiculous, you know.
They are. So we just can't worry about it. I say there's okay, first off, I'm fully Christ-centered, but I think the 4 agreements are really good. And the 4 agreements are, if we're impeccable with our words, we really choose our words. We don't just say whatever we feel. You know, you just really say what you mean. Oh, my God. It's 20 to 4. I have to be somewhere at 4. Okay, so the 4 agreements are be impeccable with your word. Second is take nothing personally. Third is don't take anything personally. Assume nothing. Even if I'm sitting next to you at a party and I turn and I whisper and I look at you and I giggle, don't assume it's about you.
Yeah.
Because the fact is it's not. Even if I say something snotty, it's always my problem.
Okay.
You know? It's their problem. And the 4th is always try your hardest. All I can do is try my hardest, care, love, and follow the biblical principles. We'll be good.
Okay.
But I think in life, if you want to pretend there's no faith, you want to pretend that, I think those 4 agreements would help us a lot.
Okay. No, I'll try to wrap this
Say
up.
whatever they want.
I'll try to wrap this up quick. I was going to comment on Tom Friedley and Darcy
I
DeMoss.
love him.
He's John
He was
Travolta's nephew?
Yes. He was and is hysterical. I hadn't seen him in many, many years, and he was at a convention that I was at, like in November, and he was just so hysterical.
Yeah, and like I said, I got Darcy DeMoss on Facebook. Still trying to wave her down, her attention, but I know she's active on there.
I know she's very active. And you know who else? Lars Park Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, I want to get her on, too.
You can get her easily.
Well, she said
will love it.
she said she was all podcasted out, but she told me to reach out to her later. So I think I'm going to do that. But I got her on my friends list, and I would love to get Lar Park Lincoln. You know?
I love her.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah. Wonder
a
if
lovely lady.
wonder if she'd do Doubtfire Face.
She would.
Oh,
But
awesome!
she lives in Texas.
All right, perfect. I know how far away time zone wise that is too. Perfect.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
think of these are the people I think that could do it realistically
Okay.
in this area is Darcy, Tom Matthews, Vinny. I believe if you can get in touch with David Kagan, I don't have a way to get in touch with him.
What about Carrie?
Mommy, me. Carrie's in back east.
Oh,
She's in like Pennsylvania. She'd do it in a second. But
okay.
maybe she could do it on podcast. You know what I mean? We all could do it together, but she could do it somewhere else.
Sure. What about Jennifer Cook?
I don't think anyone's in touch with her.
Oh,
I think she's married and out of the business. I think she's in real estate. I think that's what I heard.
okay. Oh, Carrie
But I'm
Noonan.
not 100. But don't hold me to that.
Okay.
But I did hear that, and I'm not saying it is gossipy. I'm just saying it is. No one's heard from her, and that's what I heard.
Carrie Noonan, she'd be a good one to do it.
Carrie would do it in a heartbeat. And you know she's married to the guy in Gaelic Storm, the Irish.
Yeah, I think I read something about that.
They're amazing.
Okay.
They're amazing. So I'm sure would do it. She's lovely. We chat every once in a while. But I was thinking of just the Los Angeles people that I know.
Okay. Well, that would be great, I was going to mention one thing before. I noticed on your credit you were in Date with an Angel, and I was wondering, what was it like working with Phoebe Cates?
Brilliant. And that's a very, very, very long story. But I was pregnant, very, very pregnant. I wasn't supposed to be just, in fact, that we just threw me in as a cameo. But just being with Phoebe was great.
Yeah.
Being with Emmanuel was hysterical.
Yeah, unfortunately, she, I think, has stepped out of the business. I tried to get her on, but I think she's doing her little store in Manhattan, and I got a polite response from one of the representatives, but I think she stepped away, and I respect that, but she made her mark on the business,
And she's still with Kevin Kline, right?
I love Kevin Kline.
I love him. I didn't know she had a shop.
Yeah, she's got a store. I think it's Blue something. Blue Tree, I think it's called.
Oh, I bet it's wonderful.
Yeah, but that's what she's doing. But, I mean, she did Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Gremlins. I mean, she made her mark. And, I don't blame her for not coming on. I respect that, but,
yeah,
a lot of us miss her.
I have to leave or I'm never going to make it. Can we finish this at another time?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to wrap.
Teaching.
We're going to wrap this up. Okay. If I send you my address on your email address, I'll do that, and I would love to get an autographed picture if that's okay.
Perfect.
I would love that.
Picture of what? Do you want it of now or then? You want it then?
Oh yeah.
Okay, got it.
Beautiful.
To be honest, I have to find it. I don't know where they are, or if I have any left. But I have to get some done.
Okay, I'll send you my address, and if you do the Doubtfire Face Pie in the Face challenge, do a video of it. Oh, that would be great, and do it for for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Because depression is not addressed as it should be.
Okay, I never thought of it. American Suicide. I'll send it to you, and you'll know what to do with it.
Sure,
The
yeah.
only thing I know I can do is try.
Yeah, my brother can upload it. I could put it on YouTube, and sure. But yeah.
I don't know how to do any of those things. Now, Tommy does, actually. But I'll have to figure that one out because I'll have to get in touch with each of these people separately, and so that will be a wee challenge, but it could be fun, especially if we put the tombstone and the casket.
Sure.
And put out all the whatever there is. Whatever, just so it looks fun.
And although Carrie Noonan won't be there, you can always send a special challenge out to her.
I totally will.
Yeah.
And this is something I don't do. So this is good for me. That would be very good for me to do.
And a lot of people would benefit from it. I mean,
and that's what I think.
Yeah, because a lot of people are suffering from that kind of thing. Now, one more thing before you go. Would you kindly and generously do a plug for my show?
Yes.
Yeah, just introduce yourself and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise in Fredericton. Did you get that?
Almost. Python's
Paradise.
Paradise in
Fredericton, New Brunswick. Fredericton, yep. New Brunswick.
Make sure I say it correctly. New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Nancy McLoughlin, better known as Lizbeth, doing a great, happy interview with Greg Gilbert, Python's Paradise in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Thank you so much, Greg. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Well, thank you, and thank you for accepting the Doubtfire Face. And I'll send you an email with my address on it. That you can send that stuff to me.
And was that okay, or do you want me to redo it?
Oh, that was great. That was great. And I will pray for you and your family tonight. I promise you.
And I know it's going to make a difference.
It will. Actually, it says in the Bible where two or more come together. And I know
Amen.
this to be true.
Amen. I fully agree.
Well,
I love you.
Yes, I love you
And
too.
when you come to California, you have a home to stay at.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. I would love that.
And we could have old Friday party.
We could, yes. I have never traveled, so I don't know. I'd love to, though. I think
There's
it'd be
nothing preventing you from traveling, correct?
right now. It's just a matter of I work at my dad's job, and
But you get a vacation once in a while.
actually, I actually take my vacation pay in because I never go anywhere, but I'm just good at saving money.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just
well, one
yeah.
day
One day I'll
when you get spunky.
when I
you
get spunky,
and want to.
I could, yes. But I will say this: God bless you.
God bless you, and I mean that with all my heart.
I do too.
And I look forward to getting this together, and I look forward to seeing your name in bigger lights. And that would be another prayer, that I get this script together.
Sure.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you very much. Huh?
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.